Welcome to Whiskey's a Journey. My name is Peter Fasciano, and today you are watching my Friday series, which I'm calling my top 5 blinded flights. So basically what's happening here is I am setting up a flight of 5 whiskeys. I'm going to blindly taste them, and then I'm going to rank them in the order in which I like them. And the whiskey that comes out on top, the number 1, is going to advance to the next round. So far, I have done my Scotch and bourbon, and then I'm back to Scotch again. And the whole idea here is to do 5 flights of bourbons, 5 flights of Scotch, and then I'm going to take the 5 winners of the Scotch, put them up against each other, take the 5 winners of the bourbon, put them up against each other, and then see which one I like the most out of my collection. And today I'm going to do my top 5 10-year-old scotches. So bottle number 1, glass number 1. Glenmorangie 10. This is an ex-bourbon cask. It's coming in at 43% ABV, and I paid $34.99 for this one, and it's going to be in Glencairn, the black at Glencairn, number 1. I have them labeled on the bottom, so as I mix them up, I'll keep track at the end, and then I'm going to label on the front of my board here what I'm tasting each time. So moving on to bottle number 2. Aaron 10. This cask is ex-bourbon and ex-sherry, 46% ABV, and I paid $56.99. I believe this one is non-chill filtered natural color. The Glenmorangie, I believe, is not natural color, and it's chill filtered. Bottle number 3. Hazelburn 10. This is a cask of ex-bourbon. It's coming in at 46% ABV, natural color, non-chill filtered. And this is coming in at $99 in Phoenix, Arizona. That's in glass number 3. Moving on to bottle number 4. Glenfarclas 10. This is a sherry cask matured. This is coming in at $58.99, 40% ABV, natural color, and I'm guessing it's chill filtered. And that's going to be in glass number 4. And then bottle number 5, Glenallachie 10. This is aged in American oak, ex-Oloroso, and ex-Pedro Jimenez. 57.2% ABV. I paid $109 for this, and this is batch number 8. So those are my 5. I have them in the black Glencairns because the color of some of these are a giveaway. The Glenallachie 8 or the Glenallachie 10 batch 8 is extremely dark. The Glenmorangie is very, very light. So I just didn't want to take any chances on giving anything away as far as what's in the glass. So as I get these things mixed up, once I have them completely mixed up, you will know down at the bottom what I'm tasting. I'm going to run through from right to left. I'm going to nose them and taste them. And then I'm going to go from left to right. I'm going to speed that up. And then hopefully by that time I will have an order. And then we'll figure out what's first through 5th. So let's go ahead and take a look at glass number 1. All right, this is malty, fruity sweet, light fruits, a little bit of vanilla, and I would say orchard fruits, the lighter fruits, peaches, nectarines. Get a touch amount of citrus in here. Smells pretty good. All right, glass number 2. Glass number 2. Is there anything in here? Yeah. Glass number 2 is kind of dead on the nose. I get a slight amount of ABV, a little bit of vanilla, but that's pretty much it. Wow, that's interesting. And I don't know if you guys can hear this or not. It's still like 114 degrees in Arizona. My air conditioner is on, and I've got a next door neighbor that has a very loud dog that constantly barks. Let me know in the comments if you guys can hear that or not. All right, this is very vibrant on the nose. I get a lot of dark fruits, those figs, dates, raisins, and plums, which kind of leans me towards ex-sherry or the ex-Pedro Jimenez. This has a really good sweet note to it. Malty, oaky. Yeah, that one smells really good. All right, glass number 4. Oh, glass number 4 is like glass number 2. It's dead on the nose. Not a whole lot of ABV. Not a whole lot of anything. Yeah, there's stuff in here. All right, oak, vanilla, but that's pretty much it. Let me coat the glass and see if it does anything different. There's not much to that at all. These two definitely don't have anything going on in the nose. All right, let's go ahead and get to glass number 5. All right, this smells pretty good. Light, fruity, crisp. Again, not as vibrant on the nose as this or this. Smells fruity, smells malty. I think I've got some vanilla, some of those red fruits, the sherry, orchard fruit. Yeah, smells pretty good. All right, now that I've got them all on the nose, let's go ahead and go through these on the palate. All right, glass number 1 on the palate. Whoa, my gosh. All right, that is spectacular. The fruit that I'm getting out of this is outstanding. This has a tremendous amount of flavor. Good amount of malt, the vanilla, the oak, all those fruit notes are there. This is like walking through an orchard of figs, dates, raisins, and I don't think that's going to be an orchard, but figs, dates, raisins, a little bit of pineapple, and some peaches in here. This is very sweet, very malty, very rich, very dark, very heavy, and it definitely has a pretty good punch of the ABV. That is incredibly good. And I do have water off to the side. I don't always show it, but I do rinse my palate in between a lot of these things. All right, glass number 2. Very light amount of fruit, good vanilla. That's a good, clean, crisp, malty, fruity, light fruit, single malt. That's good, but I like this one better. So just keeping this in my head like I always do, this would be first, this would be second. This is really crisp. This is a dark, heavy, malty, flavorful single malt. This is lighter, more crisp, definitely on the lighter fruit side. All right, glass number 3. Oh my gosh. All right, definitely low on the ABV, but very high on sherry. Very low on the ABV. That disappears rather quick. I do have a pretty good sherry note in here. It's dark fruit sweetness, but it doesn't seem like they're fully ripe yet. So they're on the lighter sweet side, but I still do get some darkness, the dark fruit notes that are in here. I'm also getting here, but this is amped up like a tremendous amount. Again, keeping it in my head, I would say first, second, third. So let's go ahead and get to glass number 4. All right, glass number 4 has, hold on a second, that tastes like it has a little bit of peat in it. None of these, Glenmorangie, Arran, Hazelburn, Glenfarclas, and Glenelg. I wonder if this is the Hazelburn. I know Hazelburn says that it doesn't have any peat in it, but I get peat. Or if that's just the Springbank funk that people talk about. That's good, but yeah, I would say that that has a little bit of peat in it. That's got to be the Hazelburn. It's good. It's light, it's fruity, it's crisp. I would put this one in front of this one. So that would be first, second, third, and then fourth. But yeah, that is good. That note in there is throwing me. It's a little salty, it's a little briny, it's a little funky, but I kind of dig it. It's good. So in order, first, second, third, fourth. Let's go ahead and get on to that 5th one. All right, yeah, that is all orchard fruit. That is a good, clean, crisp single malt as well. Kind of reminds me of this one. I don't think this is very high in the ABV, but it is pineapple, vanilla, malt, peaches, clean and crisp. Yeah. So again, I think this would be my first, second, third, and these two are fighting for last. I think they're pretty low on the ABV, and they just have a thinness to them. So that's my order so far. Let me just speed this up. I'm going to work my way back from left to right, and then I'll jump back in at the very end and then give you my order. All right, jumping back in here. These two are definitely the best on the nose. All right. I definitely have a decision. So I think the 4 of these brought a knife to a gunfight. This is hands down the number 1. Everything that is coming out of this glass has it in spades over everything else. Absolutely number 1. It has the proof, it has the nose, it has it on the palate. Dark, rich, deep fruit notes, good amount of malt, very good ABV. This is my number 1. And there is a huge difference between this and these. So my number 2 is going to be between these two. I like the orchard fruits, the light crispness on this, but I also like the funk that this one provides. I believe this one would be a very mood-based dram or a mood-based drink. And since this would be mood-based, even though I like everything that's in here, I'm going to put this one at number 2, and then this one will be number 3. My 4th and 5th is a toss-up between these two. You can flip a coin. This one has a lot of orchard fruits, good, clean, crisp. This is, I hate to say the word basic, but this is a basic single malt Scotch. I think it's very fruity, very crisp, very light. I think it's low in the ABV. You don't really have to think about this one that much. And this is just really flat, very watery. It has, I believe, the lowest ABV out of them all. But I think I'm going to put this over this because of the sherry notes. I'm a sucker for sherry, figs, dates, raisins, and plum notes. And I really like what this has going on. Now, I do want to say these are all good. I could actually drink any of these at any time. But because I have to rank them and choose one, I have to put one in last place. And last place doesn't necessarily mean bad. So I'm going to put this in 5th and this in 4th. Now, as far as what they are, guessing the bottles, I think this is going to be a little bit easy just because I know the 5 bottles and there are some distinct differences between a lot of them. Like, definitely, number 1 is going to be the Glenallachie. Nothing comes close to the proof, so this has to be the Glenallachie. I think the Hazelburn is a complete giveaway based on that Springbank funk that people get. This has a salty, briny, even though I don't think there's peat in here, it still gives me peat vibes. So I think this is going to be the Hazelburn. The flatness, the thinness of what I have in this glass with the sherry notes, the heavily sherried notes, this has to be the Glenfarclas. So I'm hoping that you understand as I'm explaining this, even though this is a 5-bottle blind, each one of these has such a distinct difference. They're easy to tell apart. Now, the only 2 that I have a problem with are the 2 of these, with the Arran and the Glenmorangie. And just because of the ABV, because this seems to be a little bit flat, I would have to say that this is the Glenmorangie, and then this has to be the Arran, just because of ABV. But they are very similar in palate and nosing. But the difference is in my 2nd place glass over my 5th place glass has to be the level of vanilla, the level of orchard fruits. This is just cleaner, crisper, and has more flavor, even though the flavors are very similar. So with that, let's go ahead and see if I am correct. My 5th place glass was glass number 5, and it is Glenmorangie. So Glenmorangie is 5th. And then my 4th place I thought was Glenfarclas, and it is. So Glenfarclas. And I think the dead giveaway in here, again, was the sherry notes and the low ABV. So this might sound impossible, but when you really know these whiskeys, there is a huge difference. And it's not about guessing the bottles. It's just about putting things in order. So that would be last place. That would be 4th place. My 3rd place I thought was glass number 4, and it is, yeah, so it's Hazelburn. And then my 2nd place glass I thought was Arran, and it is Arran. And process of elimination, this is the Glenallachie 10 batch number 8. So there you guys have it. That is my order. The Glenallachie 8 is moving on in my next round for my scotches. I'm alternating weeks. So next week is going to be a bourbon flight, and then the next week after that is going to be my 10-year-old peated scotches. My bourbon flight, I believe, is going to be the single barrel bourbons that I have in my collection. So if any of these sound good to you, do me a favor and give me a like if you like this video. Do all those things that YouTubers ask you to do: like, subscribe, share. Comment down below if you have had any of these scotches. Which one do you like the most? How would you rank these in order? And that's where I'm going to leave it today. Before I let you go, I'm going to throw these things into a blend, and let's see how the blend works out. Let me throw this into a Glencairn, a clear one, just so we can take a look at the color. All right, that's not as dark as I thought it would be. That's actually pretty light. I thought the Glenallachie being so dark would actually darken this up quite a bit. So a little bit of an amber, yellow amber color. Doesn't smell like much of anything. Do get a little bit of vanilla. I think that would be the outstanding note, followed by those dark fruits. Definitely malty. All right, let's get it on the palate. Fruity, flat, not very complex. I don't think that's really anything spectacular. So that would be a blend that you can skip. All right, so that's all I have for you. I hope you're enjoying your journey. And until the next time, we'll talk to you later. Bye.